Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm meteorologist Tyler Sherrod here, coming to you live from FSU Weather to cover some of the severe weather risks we're experiencing to the west of Tallahassee right now. So you see a large line of thunderstorms moving through Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, and parts of Louisiana and Texas as well right now. And these are ahead of a cold front that's starting to push through the region, so bringing pretty high severe weather risks, especially here in the western parts of the southeast. You can see this yellow outline right here that's showing a tornado watch. So what a tornado watch means is not that a tornado is imminent for these regions, but instead that the conditions are there to where a tornado could develop if these storms start getting more rotation. Once you see a tornado warning, that's where you're really going to want to get to a safe place in your home. But tornado watch right now, you just want to be very highly aware of the situation. Doesn't mean to get into your safe place just yet if a tornado warning comes up, but it means you should be in a place where you can get to a safe place very quickly. Whether you have a cellar, although that's not very often happening in the southeast, but just get into the most interior room in your house, away from any windows or anything like that. So we're going to look at these little orange spots here in Arkansas. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings right now. So we are seeing some more severe weather in central Arkansas right now, just north of Little Rock and actually to the east of Little Rock as well along that interstate. So you're going to continue to see these storms push to the northeast and bringing more severe weather risk as the cold front continues to push along. So Arkansas really in the most high-risk area at the moment for seeing severe thunderstorms, but luckily no tornado warnings yet for Arkansas. And if we move to the north towards Missouri now, we're seeing this pink here. That means a severe thunderstorm watch. So you're still seeing thunderstorms in the region, but they're not quite as severe in manner, really more just rainmakers. Although we're seeing this orange outline here, don't know exactly which county this is in Missouri, but they are seeing a severe thunderstorm warning there, which makes sense. You're starting to see some of the pinks and dark reds to the north of Osage Beach there. So really starting to see more severe weather there. That severe thunderstorm warning is going to last until 4:15 p.m. Central Time, so that would be 5:15 p.m. here on the East Coast. So those storms are starting to push to the north now, so we're seeing severe thunderstorm warnings not just in Arkansas, but in Missouri as well. Luckily for St. Louis, right now just seeing some cloud coverage, maybe a little bit of rainfall there, but no severe weather for St. Louis right now. It's all staying to the west, really in between St. Louis and Kansas City. That's where you're seeing most of the severe weather right now. And let's go ahead and look towards the south now, closer to Louisiana and Texas. So still seeing some thunderstorms move through northern Louisiana and eastern Texas, where you see the yellow counties there in the background being the tornado watch, but no severe thunderstorms there, just seeing some straight line storms that aren't quite so severe, just dumping a lot of rain in those regions, maybe a little bit windy, but not quite strong enough to reach that severe thunderstorm status. So right now, the states we're looking at with the highest risk are Louisiana, or at least the northern parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, and parts of St. Louis. Today we saw that we had an enhanced risk right there in some of those regions I was talking about, including western Mississippi. That had about a 5 chance of seeing a severe thunderstorm. That's about a 60% chance. And as we know, once you get a severe thunderstorm, if you get enough rotation there in those supercells, you can start to get the development of a tornado. So the storm outlook does not show you the likelihood of seeing a tornado. It's just a severe thunderstorm. But tornadoes can develop from those severe thunderstorms. So it's important to see how those will develop. And getting into tomorrow, this cold front is going to kind of stall over the southeast, but the severe weather risk is not quite as high for tomorrow. In Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, getting up into Kentucky and even parts of West Virginia, you're going to see a marginal risk of seeing a severe thunderstorm, so about a 20% chance. The light greens here, you still have a chance of seeing thunderstorms, but they're not going to be severe in nature, going to be more rainmakers than the powerful winds and possible development of tornadoes there. And you can see that these rainfall amounts are going to get really high here in the southeast because this cold front will start to stall over the southeast. So we're going to continue to see thunderstorms develop, and the more storms that we see over the southeast, unfortunately, just going to continue to dump rain there. So the heaviest rainfall amounts we're going to see are in Mississippi and Alabama, getting into parts of central Tennessee, even Louisiana, Arkansas as well, and getting into Georgia. So most of the southeast going to see a lot of rainfall. Even Tallahassee, here to our west, you're going to see a lot of rainfall in the Panhandle. Right here in the city, not going to see quite as much rain, but still having the potential to see some rainfall accumulation here in Florida. So let's look at the next 48 hours. As we get into the nighttime and into tomorrow afternoon, you're going to start to see the thunderstorms will start to die off eventually, but they will start to reemerge. So here's tonight around 8, getting into 9, 10 o'clock. They're still going to push through Mississippi, going through to midnight and 1 in the morning because the cold front is going to continue to move. So you're going to see severe weather in southern Louisiana and parts of Mississippi and Alabama getting to those early morning hours. Then once we hit around 7, 8 a.m., you're still going to see some showers and isolated thunderstorm associated with this front, but they are going to start to die off because Thursday, that severe weather risk is not going to be quite as high. The environment is not as favorable for these storms to develop, but you still will see something here in northern Georgia and Tennessee getting into those afternoon hours, but it's not going to be quite as widespread as it was today, looking into Louisiana and Arkansas and western Mississippi. But just because that chance of seeing a severe thunderstorm is less as we move throughout Thursday, doesn't mean it's impossible. Even if SPC issues a severe weather outlook, you want to pay attention to it because you could still get severe weather. You could still get even a tornado if you have a marginal risk for a severe thunderstorm. So even though the chances are not quite as high for severe weather tomorrow, you still want to stay weather aware and stay tuned to your local weather station to see all the developments with this front and these line of storms. So now we're going into Friday in the afternoon, mostly just going to be some cloud coverage to our western states, seeing some rainfall through New Orleans, Jackson, Mississippi, Montgomery, seeing some cloud coverage, maybe some isolated rainfall there as well. But as we go throughout the day, you will start to see some thunderstorms develop, getting into 5 o'clock. You can see them start to push through Montgomery, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi. But I do have to remind you that this is a 48-hour outlook, so the storms that you see on the screen right now are not going to actually play out exactly this way. This is really just the model's best guess, given the current conditions and what we're expecting to happen. But once we get to Friday, this is not going to be the exact setup of the thunderstorms, but if you're in Alabama, Georgia, or Mississippi, and even getting into Louisiana and Arkansas and the western panhandle for Florida, you have a shot at seeing some severe weather on Friday as well. So just to recap everything that's going on currently, right now is our highest risk for severe weather in Louisiana and Arkansas and getting into Missouri, parts of western Mississippi as well. That's going to be the highest severe weather risk for the next 24 hours. Thursday, that severe weather risk is not going to be quite as high. And right now, Tallahassee, what we need to worry about tomorrow, we're going to start to be on the edge of that severe weather risk. Right now, things are looking great. It's been a sunny day and just pretty great overall, but tomorrow we can start to see that rainfall. And with the cold front kind of stalling in the southeast, we're going to start to see those rain chances go up for Tallahassee. But let's try and zoom back into Arkansas again, see if anything else has developed over the past 10 minutes or so. So right now, most of those storms are to the east of Little Rock. They saw some rainfall, but the thunderstorms stayed to the south, continue to move to the northeast towards Forest City and Sierke, as well as Pine Bluff as well. In the yellow, you can see is that tornado watch in the background. So luckily, still no tornado warnings, but conditions could develop to where we could see tornadoes start to spawn if we get enough rotation with these storms. But the yellow here with the tornado watch, you can see is in eastern Texas, northern Louisiana and covering most of Arkansas as well. And here are all of our counties covered by the tornado watch. And it's going to be active until Wednesday at 9 p.m. I believe that is Central Time. So you're going to start to see, not going to start to see this risk go away until we get into the later nighttime hours, getting towards midnight. So here's some of the wind speeds for the Arkansas region right now. We have some southerly flow as well as some westerly flow that's really starting to push those storms to the northeast. Sustained winds as high as 22 miles per hour in Monticello, Pine Bluff 19 miles per hour, and then Little Rock experiencing 17 miles per hour right now. So you might see wind gusts that are stronger than this, but these are just some of the sustained winds that we're seeing in these cities right now. So winds really starting to pick up. You could see wind gusts getting into the 30s, possibly even 40 miles per hour, depending on just how strong the thunderstorm is that's moving through your region. So let's go up north to Missouri. St. Louis, still not seeing any of the action whenever it comes to thunderstorms, although I believe some new severe thunderstorm warnings have developed here to the northeast of Springfield. So you can see some of the pinks here and the dark reds showing some heavier rainfall, possibly even some hail as well. These severe thunderstorm warnings are going to last until Wednesday. That's today, 4:30 p.m. Central Time, so about maybe another hour and 20 minutes or so, hour and 15 minutes. So if you're in central Missouri, you want to be sure to stay indoors because you do have severe thunderstorms moving through the region. At least for the next hour to an hour and a half, you just want to stay inside until we get the storms moving all the way out of the region and things start to clear up a little bit. Let's move up to the north, though, into Minnesota, north of Minneapolis and south of International Falls. We are seeing a lot of rainfall there, but luckily no severe thunderstorm watches or warnings, no tornado watches or warnings. You're seeing some thunderstorms here, but they're not very powerful. Nothing to be overly concerned about, just really a lot of rainfall here in northern Minnesota. Minneapolis is clear for the most part. There is some cloud coverage there and maybe a little bit of rain activity to their east, but lots of that rainfall in central and northern Minnesota, and most of that is forest area. There are some cities in there, but luckily most of the rain is over the non-populated regions of Minnesota. Let's move back down south, looking at northern Louisiana, seeing storms move through. Tornado watch still in place, going to be in place for a little while, close to 9 p.m. Central Time, but you're still going to continue to see at least the storms here towards the south around Louisiana, Texas. They're going to have more of a just easterly approach here. Once we get to the north, you start to get a more northeasterly turn, but you're just going to continue to see these storms push to the east fairly quickly, but you're not going to see the severe weather risk move out of the region for at least the next couple of hours with some lingering storms behind this. We actually see a severe thunderstorm warning here spawning just onto the eastern parts of Texas, almost into Louisiana, east of Lufkin and south of Center, Texas here. So severe thunderstorm warning here in eastern Texas. Luckily, still no tornado warnings, although if we get more rotation, we could get tornado warnings in this region. But let's see some of the cities that could become impacted in this tornado warning or this severe thunderstorm warning region over the next couple hours. So here are cities right here. Bronson, right around 7:27 p.m. You can start to see some storms move through the region. We'll have to see if the severe thunderstorm warning continues to expand out here further eastward as we go throughout the next couple hours. But if it does, then if you're in any of these cities, you can see some severe weather start to move through. So let's look back again at Arkansas, see if anything has developed there. We are starting to see some more storms develop on the western side here, moving along that I-40 corridor. So the northeastern Arkansas is starting to see some more thunderstorm activity. No severe thunderstorm activity, though. It seems like actually some of these severe thunderstorm warnings have disappeared here in central Arkansas. So now we're just seeing, still seeing thunderstorm activity, but nothing severe, more just heavy rainfall now in eastern and central Arkansas. Most of the storms, once again, staying to the east of Little Rock. They did see a little bit of heavy rainfall a couple minutes ago, but now starting to move through to the east. You're just going to continue to see these storms push to the east. I know I might sound repetitive now about these storms moving to the east, but that's going to be the general trend. So you're still not out of the clear yet. Could start to see some more storms and rainfall develop there in Little Rock, but that's really what's going on here for our severe weather. Moving into Memphis, you're not seeing too much right now. A little bit of cloud coverage, but you're starting to see that some of those storms are starting to approach the region. So western Tennessee and western Mississippi are going to be the next states that are really in line to see this severe weather. So if we want to move towards western Mississippi now and see if we have anything there at all. Well, actually, we'll go to today's storm outlook. Enhanced risk for western Mississippi, northern Louisiana, and southeast Arkansas. So that's about a 3 out of 5 risk of seeing severe thunderstorms in those regions. That's about a 60% chance. And when you get severe thunderstorms, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get tornadoes from those, but those are the systems that spawn tornadoes. So the higher that this storm outlook is, once you start getting into moderate and high risks, you can really start to get those tornado risks a lot higher. But that's all the time we have for right now for our live coverage. I'm meteorologist Tyler Sherrod. Be sure to stay safe, everyone, in the Southeast.